Welcome to it. Why do I act surprised every time?
Every time.
Every
Like,
time.
we always start off the recording laughing, and I've got to like pick when I can jump because you're always laughing.
Yeah, just leave it in. It doesn't matter. Welcome to another episode of the Counterculture Podcast. I'm your host, Christian, along with my great friend and co-host, Taylor. And how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Kids are in school. Wife has a little bit more free time, so happy wife, happy life. So, she loves being a stay-at-home mom, but I will say, her little freedom during the day just to kind of adult, which is funny because she's wanted it for a while. She's like ready for the kids to go to school, but she only has one at home now.
Right.
Which is, she doesn't know what to do with herself. So she called me bored, and I had to like nicely like hint. Yeah. She's like, what are you doing? I'm working. I'm actually in the middle. And then she'd like be like, you're really not talking that much. I'm like, I'm actually still working. I was answering emails and I wasn't like responding or giving enough attention to her. Like,
she's
like,
job.
is something wrong? Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, you're being really quiet. I'm like, I'm still working. She's like, oh, well, I don't want to bother you, so I will just let you go. I'm like, so it's cute, but at the same time, it's like, she's got to like figure out what to do with herself.
She'll figure it out.
Yeah.
She'll figure it out.
She's all day long. It's touching and pulling and mom.
Mm-hmm.
So now she's finally, so she's going to start going to the gym during the day again.
Oh, good.
And so we're not during pandemic COVID shutdown. So the little child care at the gym is back and open. So
okay.
she can drop the other one off.
Very nice. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Christina will be in that same vein, next year.
Well, even to drop down from 3 just to 2, I remember helped out a lot. So hopefully she's liking that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely certainly easier, and she gets a little bit more time with Lila, which is good. Because usually it's the 2 boys and her, and they can be a little overbearing.
Because you have 2 boys.
Yes, I do, and they're a lot. But they're a lot of fun at the same time. So, although Eli, he actually got in trouble today at school.
Really?
Already. We're 5 days into the school year. He's already getting in trouble.
He's already known.
He had a note sent home from school.
Was it like taped to his chest or something like that?
No. I don't think so, at least. I don't.
Like, do they still do that anymore? Like where it's like pinned to their, what's that? Oh, that reminds me of that Kevin Hart skit.
Oh, yeah. My mama told me to tell you to mind your...
Before he sold his soul, of course. But, yeah.
Oh, man. Those are the good days.
Have you seen those videos where he's talking and joking? Like, oh, yeah, I got famous because I sold my soul. Yeah. But he's like doing that interview like it's a bit.
Yeah. I haven't. But, I mean, I think most people that are famous
this truth may be slipped through comedy where they're joking.
Well, I think what does the saying go? Like every joke has like a strand of truth in there somewhere.
Probably.
Right. So
speaking of jokes and truth, have you ever seen Bert Kreischer, The Machine? He's
yeah.
He came out with that new movie.
I think the movie is called The Machine, right? Isn't it about him or something, like when he was in college or something?
I was going to watch it because actually I did watch it. I convinced the wife, but it's got good reviews so far. But I thought it'd be like, okay, it's got like 500 reviews and they're all like 4.5 out of 5 stars. I was like, I'll give it a shot. But I thought I was going to reenact that same bit. It's not a reenactment of the Machine bit. It's done in flashbacks, but it's about real today, present day Bert.
Yeah.
And like his life, but the Russians come back because something's missing. So he gets pulled back into Russia, but he's this overweight dude now. It was actually really good. It's like what Central Intelligence and like all the Kevin Hart movies want to be, with that kind of funny, but it's like, it's an action movie, but it's
I guess comedy action movie.
This was like all the comedy you wanted, but like John Wick style.
Okay.
No, like it was good.
Really?
You can rent it for like $5.99. It's good.
Okay. I'll add it to the list.
Yeah. So anyways, that's go watch it. It's
There's
good.
your
we always slip some review. Like little movie kind of thing.
That's true. I mean, we've been watching a lot of documentaries lately on Netflix. I love
you and documentaries.
Yeah, I'm a big documentary guy. I enjoy them.
You're like a sponge. You just got to soak up that knowledge.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of documentary, are you going to watch the new Convicting a Murderer?
Yes, I am. I am very excited for Candace's Convicting a Murderer, because Making a Murderer, the first 2 are really... I love those. Those are very good.
I think I've watched 3/4 of the first one. I never quite finished.
It's very good. You should watch those two before this one comes out because Candace is going to be like a 10-part like actual series.
Nice.
So it should be good. I'm very curious to see what she has to find or what she has to share because apparently.
Well, we need more content like that.
Oh yeah, if
non-woke mainly.
Right, if non-woke, whether Daily Wire or otherwise, come out with stuff like that, I think it'll be pretty cool. I think it'll be pretty cool.
But what were you saying about Eli though? We started
with talking about that. Yeah, so he got in trouble because he was, I guess, talking during dismissal time, and they had to be quiet. Which, to be fair, I mean, my response to him.
Where does he go to school? The seminary, like?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, it is a charter school.
There you go. Yeah.
but what I told him when, because Christina told me, I said, hey, like, those are the rules. Like, you need to follow the rules. Mm-hmm. But then partially, I'm like, to be quiet during dismissal time. They're kindergartners. You think they're gonna sit there in silence for 30 minutes, waiting for their mom to come and pick them up? Like, seems a little. That's a little silly.
Well, not only that, but after a long day.
Yeah,
that's a long day for little people. You know
what
I mean?
Yeah, because their day ends at like 3:30. I think is when school lets out, and Christina's usually picking him up closer to like 4 o'clock. Yeah. Because of the car line, all that kind of crap, whatever. So like he's there for a while. Yeah, like I mean, I'm finishing up work usually around 4:30, and she usually gets home maybe 10 minutes before I do from picking him up. So I mean, that's a long day.
No, it is, and I will say it's easier as like a first grader. I remember when my son went through it because after they get used to that routine as a kindergartner, like it just gets easier. But because they've already done a full year of 8 hours or whatever at school. Yeah. It's not even 8 hours, however long it is.
I think it was 6 or 7 or so.
But for a 5-year-old or whatever, it's
a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Especially when, they're expected to like already know 1 through 10, the alphabet. They need to be able to go to the bathroom on their own. They should be able to tie their own shoes. Well, we got like 3 out of the 4. So we were like doing Velcro or slip-on shoes. My kid still doesn't know how to tie his shoes. I think he's mostly there.
Yeah, I mean...
he's in 2nd grade. I'm like, we skipped the shoe tie part.
I mean, just throw on Hey Dudes every day.
He has Hey Dudes, slip-on Vans.
Yeah, so who cares?
Yeah.
You don't need to tie shoes.
Hey, I've been filled as a parent. He's doing pretty good.
They just get him a pair of cowboy boots too, so that you never have
to. Those are his church ones. Yeah, like we're covered.
So never have to tie shoes.
No matter the occasion, he's good.
So you know how
he's got
you make
Crocs fun of too.
So you know how you have kids that get made fun of for not like knowing how to swim when they're an adult, right? So like
he's gonna be in college. I can't tie my shoes. Sorry, son, if you're watching this and the world hasn't burned, just know we tried.
I'm not a bad dad, I promise. Well, I guess before we get into it, it's speaking of the world burning, make sure you like, subscribe, share the show with your friends, hit the notification bell down below so you can get notified whenever we upload our new episodes. But if you also prefer the audio version, you can find us on iTunes and Spotify, where please
they're not as up to date, but I'm working on it. We're YouTubers now, apparently.
Yeah, well,
some people like the audio only content.
Yeah, well. If you're one of our audio only listeners, I think there are a few that are still dedicated to that format. We haven't forgotten you.
This is a partnership, so sometimes the partner probably needs to remind the other one that, hey, audio.
Hey, we should probably put
thanks.
Hey, like the last 3 or 4 episodes that you haven't uploaded. I think
it's about 3.
You should probably upload those like later.
But I'm pretty consistent with the video part, so
yeah.
I'm trying.
Video. The thing with the video stuff, I know, is that obviously you have to take time to edit, whatever, and then it takes time to upload it. Because it would be I didn't think because you see these YouTube, and this is why some of them obviously they do it full time and they make money all kind of. That's how they have the time.
Not only
to do
that,
it.
But they have production teams.
They have like staff, yeah, and also like super high tech equipment. Because I know like for you when you're uploading a video, it takes like hours to do one video.
No,
and not the editing, uploading it onto YouTube takes
uploading
hours.
It, processing it. If you don't have to convert it to different formats, and then the editing part too. And the more you edit, the more you change or splicing clips, like tweak it all, color grading. that will all change how long it takes to puke it out. If I just crop the and clip the intro and the final and adjust the audio a little bit, I mean, it'll be like 45 minutes. Right. But if I do any kind of major editing, it could be like 3 hours.
Yeah. And now, we like to put video clips in and all kinds of other stuff.
Right.
Just ridiculous. But like I was saying, speaking of the world burning, right? You look around I guess if it's Hawaii, it's literal. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry.
What do you think about that?
That was a very bad taste. I'm so sorry.
I'm glad you did it because usually that's me with
obviously
thoughts and prayers
with people in Maui. I think it's in Maui, right?
Yeah. The Big Island, I want to say. Or is Maui the Big Island?
I believe it is. I think you're right. I'm not sure.
I don't know. The whole thing's fishy. So
either way, for the people that live there and are going through it, thoughts and prayers go out to them. But one of the things that has, I shouldn't. Oh my God! I was going to say one of the other things I've caught fire. Should not make any more fire jokes or references. A folk country or a no-name person in the middle of West Virginia became ultra famous, viral over the last week, right? So this probably won't be anything new to you guys that are listening, but I wanted to talk about this because I think it's pretty cool, right? So you had this guy, Oliver Anthony, have his song go viral called Richmond, North of Richmond. And the reason why it's gone so viral is what the song... The message of the song. So I actually wanted to play a clip of it on here, right? About like 30-ish seconds of it, right? Just so, if you, for whatever reason, haven't heard, you can hear a little bit of it. But if you have heard it, I clipped this part because it's my favorite part of the entire song.
Well, I like the sad boy country. Like, we've talked about this on the show before.
Oh,
like
yes.
Tyler Childers, Zach Bryan. I was listening to both before they kind of got big. And then they got so big they went woke. And now it's kind of hard for me to listen. But now this guy's good. And if he sticks to his...
Tyler Childers went woke?
Yeah. A little bit.
Really?
Yeah, he kind of fell off the wagon a little bit. But
what happened with him?
He
Actually, I have no idea.
Yeah. I can't remember what exactly it was. But he got a little weird. And a lot of the stuff he was like saying. Or like social media stuff. And then he kind of got all gospel-y too. He did like 2 albums where they're just like gospel only kind of thing.
Some of those are good though.
Yeah, I haven't listened to those through, but definitely the Zach Bryan thing. Anyways, I've started listening to him again. I'm trying to differentiate between the person and the artist.
I think sometimes at the end of the day, it's like you can try to boycott everything in the world, but I think it's silly, to do that. And at the end of the day, there are some things where it's effective, like you have Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, and like Target, where that's been very effective. Right? I don't think doing that to every single person or every single thing is effective or useful.
No, I mean, we have the world has to keep on going somehow.
Yeah.
But no, check this out.
Yeah, so we're going to listen to it a little bit.
Good voice, though.
He sounds phenomenal. Yeah. Like, just on let's start like with like just a pure like talent perspective.
I thought you were gonna say pure country, and I'm like,
You're like, that's
George
stupid.
Strait reference.
Ooh, yeah.
Pure
You know
Country?
what? I actually like that movie. He's a terrible actor, but I love that movie.
Yeah, it was like his debut or whatever. It's a
Yeah.
cult classic.
It is. It's very good.
Guilty pleasure.
You know what's funny is that the song, one of the songs from that movie, where the sidewalk ends. Actually, one of my favorite George Strait songs. There's like no meaning to it, but I like it.
There you go.
Yeah. So
I'm happy for you.
thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. No, anytime. That's why I have a podcast.
But no, this guy,
instead of
like-
therapy.
It's I mean, a lot of these up and coming country singers, like they've got a good voice,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's not. I feel like you can feel it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I like his message. I mean, I think it's a lot of what us normal silent majority are feeling. You know?
Yeah, you know what's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. So what's interesting is obviously the song went super viral,
Yeah.
and immediately the culture war.
Because I mean, you saw the video. He's he's just a guy.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
He's like you and me.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
If we blew up tomorrow, you know. But no, like even the camera shots, like it's a really good angle, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like fuzzy background, you know, because
Mhm.
that's that portrait look or whatever.
Yeah,
And but then it flips to the other one. It's just him wearing normal clothes, and he's got two dogs right there. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't this high production thing. It was just a guy.
yeah.
But I think we said Rogan picked it up and shared it.
Yeah, so what's funny is like for because again it went like just super mega viral, and I remember what I was telling you earlier is I was just listening to music on YouTube, and it came up as just one of the a suggested part of the mix I was listening to. It was like folk, and lo-fi sort of country stuff, and it came on. I'm like, oh, this is a good song, or this guy's good, and then I heard the song. I was like, whoa, that's a hell of a message, man. If people actually hear this, I mean, like, it's probably going to get pretty popular. And then a day or so later, I see that Rogan shares it. I'm like, holy cow, like, Rogan saw this? So, like, this dude's really going to blow up.
Yeah. And he kind of has. So.
And I mean, after that, it was just, like, a meteorite. I mean, it's gone within a week. I think you looked earlier, it had, like, 16 million views already on YouTube.
Yeah, but that's just that one video. I mean, it wasn't even his personal channel. I think it was just like a...
Well, so the Radio West Virginia is where it was originally uploaded. I don't know if I think that's his. I think it is
Maybe.
his account. I believe.
I didn't dig into it much.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if it's his personally, but I know that they were the ones that uploaded
so
it.
that is the original then.
Yeah, that is
But
the
yeah,
original.
so 16 million, and it's only been up there for 8 days.
Yeah.
Not only that, but his TikTok, which is the only social platform that really seems to matter now. He's at like almost 1 million subs now or follows.
Right, and then he had also uploaded it to Twitter too, and that's had countless millions of more, views there. So it's like it is completely blown up. And when I realized though, like it was something is that I have a family group text, right, and my mother-in-law posted in the group text saying, hey, like if y'all listen to this video, I was like, wow, even she's caught wind of this. So I'm like,
spreading like
that's when I
fire,
knew. Yeah.
wildfire.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like.
Couldn't help that one.
Yeah. I know. Well.
Or a direct energy weapon, whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
Ooh, conspiracy. Where's my tinfoil hat?
Oh, I didn't keep them. We'll have to make more.
Ooh. But where a lot of the viral nature of again is specifically the message, right? Besides, I mean, he is very talented, but a lot of it has to do with what he's specifically talking about. And number one, the song title "Richmond, North of Richmond," right, is a very nice play on words, right? It's very artsy,
Very clever.
very clever.
Clever guy.
Have you seen? This is so awful. It's been on TikTok where it's like how sometimes on TikTok they'll have like the little clip thing where it's like not a video but it's just a picture and like memes and you can like scroll through. Have you seen the one where it's like that? It's the cartoon of that guy from Jurassic Park.
Oh, but
it's
it gets
clever
like
girl.
bazooka and then it's like one upping it. Yeah.
So dumb. It's so good.
It's like, get off my algorithm. Man.
Oh, it's so good. It makes me laugh every time. So, but what was really interesting, I think, one of my favorite lines is where it was in the beginning of the clip where he says, I wish politicians would look out for miners, like coal miners, instead of miners on an island somewhere, which some people have suggested perhaps he's referring to good old like Epstein Island, perhaps,
Ooh.
right, with that. But then what is the most controversial, right, of the whole thing is him talking about, right, saying we have people on the streets that are hungry, right, but then we have the obese milking welfare, followed by, and he says, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought to not pay for your pack of fudge rounds or whatever, right? And that specific set of lines has gotten the internet just in an uproar.
Yeah, it's like,
because
how dare you?
For the average person, right? They're like, yes, I agree. This is so stupid that my tax dollars go to these people, being able to just, take advantage, right? And totally, just I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, sorry. Take advantage
They're
of
milking
the system. Yeah.
And that's his point. It's not like you're somebody who needs it. If you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, like your BMI is like way, way, way off.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you're some 6'6" dude and you're 250 pounds. Like 250 on someone that with a frame like that tall may not be bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how you carry it. But if you're like 5'3" and no, that's his point. He's obviously taking it to an extreme with that number, but the fact that people still want to get upset is almost funny at that point.
Right, absolutely. And here's the thing: is because people on the left have said like, oh well, like it's him. He's punching down to. It's like he's not using that
Is
line.
Is that because they're 5'3"?
That's funny. And the thing is he's not. He's using that to illustrate a larger point, like you're saying. Like you probably won't run into someone who's 5'3" and 300 pounds, right? Or hopefully you don't. It's to illustrate a point of. We have this broken system that's not functioning properly, right? And also he has a line where, he's working overtime hours for bullshit pay, right? And he says selling my soul to do that, right? Again, and many who are in that working class feel that way, right? And, and what's interesting is if you look at the comments, and I think sometimes people will look at that and say, are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. They'll look at that and say...
The baby was playing her earlier. I'm like, what is it? The headphones are cutting out, so she pulled the headphone jack.
Oh, did she? Oh, okay. Iris.
Bad girl.
Is, again, the comments are the people putting on there the truth. I don't know, right? Could they make up stories? Sure. But I remember reading some of the comments on YouTube and talking about, like one guy was saying, like, this song is my life. He's like, I'm a blue collar guy, right? And I take care of my wife. I have 2 kids, but then I'm also trying to take care of my older parents, right? And he's like, this song is like speaking to me, right? And now again, could that be someone lying? Sure, right? But I would venture to say it probably isn't. It probably is a dude that he's working.
It's not going viral because people don't like it.
Oh, no. It's going viral because it's speaking to the average person.
Exactly. So, as always, the loudest voices are the smallest minority. You know what I mean? It just... The proof is in the pudding. Like, obviously, this thing is doing well for itself. The guy has gained a tremendous amount of followers. You don't gain that many followers if nobody likes what you're saying. So... Yeah,
I mean, it's something that resonates very much, and I think part of it is, too, is... it's someone that he's speaking for those that feel like they can't or for whatever reason. And because, again, I think a lot of people do feel that way. I think because it's very much a populist sort of message that I think whether you're on the right or the left, you can hear that and agree. Because, again, his whole point is, of course, also pointing at this broken system is being just continuously pushed forward by these rich men north of Richmond, right? These politicians in D.C. who don't give a shit about you, right?
No.
And don't care about what you think.
Well, we're seeing that with the Biden administration and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
They want to send like another 110 mil to Ukraine.
It's a B.
Is it a B?
Oh, it's always a B.
I didn't think this time it was a B.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but
a million,
they only want to
just
do
isn't a lot
700
anymore.
a family for Lahaina.
Do what?
Lahaina, Hawaii.
Mm.
They only want to. They're sending $700 per family. for aid. Which, if you say like 7,000, or is it they're trying to do like that would display somebody who's running the numbers? They're like, that's like it comes out to like $7.1 million that we're giving to them. So we can give our own taxpayers and our own citizens 7.1, and it's like a slap in the face. Like that's like $50 a person, whatever, by the time you break it down for a family. But we're sending how much money to Ukraine?
Still
I think
sending
it's
money.
like ended up being like 400 billion.
Yeah,
so
I mean
far.
it's outrageous amounts of money that we've sent over there. Like I think at this point it's costing the average American household like $900 a month, right, in taxes. Right, it was what it would like convert to.
Yeah, it's just
it's just outrageous, right? And then we have the highest gas prices, right?
right.
In 10 months. I mean,
Well, that's the exact point. I mean, we are the people. We are the hardworking middle class Americans. We're the ones, who are trying to do it right. We're not on the system. We're not on all the social programs. We're trying to do it the right way, and that's why a song like this resonates with us. So
absolutely, and what's interesting is also like I guess he has said apparently that he finds himself being a centrist in most issues or all issues, which is I think fine. I think maybe he's trying to protect himself a little bit from the crazy viralness that's happened. But the reality is, I mean, what he's was singing about, which I assume he cares about, is just tending to be something that is more aligned with individuals that are, I would say, right leaning at this time in history, right? I mean, you could venture to say that there was a period of time where it would have identified with the left more at certain points. Maybe that's why he can say he's a centrist, right? But just because the way our political landscape has shifted, it's a little different. But I think, again, it just hits to the core of, I think the average American just feels forgotten, feels like they are taken advantage of. And we're at the mercy of these people that are in Washington. And I think, for me, again, I always like to try to look at the positive side of things. A lot of those things are out of our control to a certain extent. And so there is an aspect where it's like, it's just up to us to, I think make the best of any situation, but then also like, we can change. The future isn't written. We can change it. But I mean, like I said, I just wanted to talk about it just because.
Yeah, go give it a listen. I mean, that was just obviously a clip, but
yes,
it's a like 3-minute, 11-second song. It's a full song, and it's good.
It is good, and I wish him the best of luck. And I have actually, he has like other few songs he's uploaded. I checked some of them out, and they're good too, right? Like he is actually talented. Again, this song particularly just had a pretty powerful message that is again resonating with the average person. And I think that should give us. I think because of it speaks to your average person that it tells us maybe where people are at this point, and
fed up.
Yeah, and I think again it only gets added on top of whether it's how our fellow Americans are treated from our federal government when they need help. Even to the point where I guess I saw a video where someone was trying to ask President Biden about it, and he just kind of like smirked and like kind of like walked off. It's like, dude, like, how do you live? I don't know how you live with yourself. Like, I mean, again,
he doesn't know where he is half the time. So
well, there's that too.
He wants to be snarky like that, but it just makes you look bad. Like, be a leader. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not something you should even smirk at, like, or like laugh. Like, I don't have to answer your questions.
Yeah,
like,
he's just a dick.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know if you saw this. There's
the training wheel one with the bike.
No, the I forget what her name is, but his like press secretary. She had tweeted something that was clearly meant to be for President Biden's Twitter feed, but she tweeted it from her own account. And then she had to delete it, and then I don't think she ended up reposting it. But people were laughing because there's always been the joke that Joe Biden doesn't run his own Twitter account, and then she like basically proved to the world that that's absolutely true.
Secretary, so it's like
I just thought that was funny too. All right, and then did you see? Okay, we're kind of getting off tangent, but did you see the thing about? There's been a couple articles recently talking about how like people are talking about these like letters that Obama wrote when he was younger about how he was gay and he fantasized about having relationships with men?
For Obama?
Yeah.
Well, he is.
What do you mean?
Talking about Michael? Everybody knows that.
Well,
did you see that like Oprah video where she was like dancing? Like,
yes,
that
I've
made
seen
me
it.
feel pretty I got a little humbled. Freaking Michael's Michelle, whatever you want to call her, is freaking well endowed, man. But no, like you got to go on the internet, man. Just Michael Obama, whatever. And
okay, here's the reason I say okay is obvious. It
Michelle's own mother has slipped and said, "Michael, my son, Michael." Obama has been on and he said Michelle and slipped up. I
don't know. There is some weird stuff, man. Here's what's funny about it, because of course, the reason I was saying that is because the whole, I guess you could say, conspiracy theory about Michelle Obama.
My ass. That's a dude. That's a man. It is, ma'am.
I thought you were about to pull out an Austin Power reference. It's a man.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Oh man, that's a good movie.
They were period correct.
Yes,
that
very
90s, like you just needed that.
Yeah, but the reason it's you've had those people that have been talking about that for a long time, but it's interesting that now you have. I'm just saying it's like verified from like ex-girlfriends or things like that, of actual writings of him writing about him fantasizing about these things.
Well, yeah, and their daughters. There's something that was going on the internet like this past year about that. That's not their daughters. It's like, anyways, just go down the rabbit hole if you want. But
there's plenty of stuff. I just again, those articles were coming out. I just thought it was funny because of course those sort of rumors have been talked about for a long time.
The only articles I'm concerned about are articles of impeachment.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk.
They're
about
still
impeachment.
chasing Trump right now. It's like.
Oh
really?
Yeah, I think he's got another indictment. He's gonna be, at this point, he's gonna be in prison for 945 million years and death penalty. I don't give a.
Meanwhile, there's cocaine in the White House and we don't know whose it is. And
I just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
It's like a bad sitcom, but you're stuck at the hospital and you can't find the remote.
Yeah. And
there's nothing else to watch or do. So you're kind of.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny is though, like people are having fun with that on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen them. There's one where it says Trump when he finds out he's being indicted because he returned a video at Blockbuster not rewound, and it's him doing the whole I didn't know you're finding out. I'm finding this out for the first time. I'm like this is. I'm like, you gotta love the internet, man. You gotta love it.
Well, did you see he was doing something at like a rally or whatever, and they had like the AC off, so he was talking and he was like, just because I know how the media is gonna spin it, saying I'm up here and I'm feeling unwell and I'm sweating. He goes, just want the record to show that it's about 115 degrees in here. They've turned off the air, but we weren't gonna let them, that stop us. We kept the rally going or whatever. So.
Yeah.
They're coming for him, I guess.
Yeah, well. Whatever.
What about DeSantis? He's still running or what?
Yeah, I mean, he's running, but I mean, again, as long as Trump's in the race, no one's going to beat him.
I just hope the votes don't get split over that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We're about to get into it. Election year is going to happen. It's going to make content for us much easier.
Well, I said the votes get split, but I guess it depends who ends up being the primary. Unless he switches and goes, what is it, like? Third party or
Trump? He's
what do you call that? Where if DeSantis ran as a
like if DeSantis ran as a independent?
Yeah, that's what.
I think that'd be a bad idea. He's definitely.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, he would get the nominate. I guess he could go from the Libertarian Party or whatever else. I mean, he'd probably.
That's what I mean by split the votes. Like nobody would want.
No, yeah, I mean, people would split the vote. Just
we'd need to be united.
Disaster. Yeah, and then I mean. I guess we'll see what happens because you have the RFK Jr. thing, and of course he's running as a Democrat, so that'll be it. I would love
if he was a primary.
Absolutely. If RF Kennedy now, granted, I would say just as forewarning for RFK Jr. For other guys with the same last name that have tried to become president. Or
Dude,
one of them did,
he knows. He talks about it.
Yeah, it's a bad track record. So I don't know.
Since he's a candidate who's running for office, he's supposed to get Secret Service. Any candidate that's running for...
Yes, they're supposed to.
Yeah, and he's been denied. He was not getting answers, and he finally got rejected. He's come out and he's talked about it. For the first time, the first presidential candidate or in the race or whatever you want to call it, who's been denied Secret Service. That's just fishy too on itself. I don't know. I think Rogan talked about that too.
Interesting. Yeah, Rogan's had some pretty fire stuff recently.
Yeah, but he also liked Bernie. So I don't know. I like your Rogan.
I mean, but that's the beauty of it, right? Is that with someone like him, we can appreciate now, granted, like hindsight at this point, I mean, I think he likes probably still considers himself a Bernie bro, but I don't know as much anymore. He may be a little bit more right leaning than I think he gives himself credit for. Yeah.
Well, the longer you live, the more you learn.
Well, also he's in Texas now, and he's not surrounded by LA. He was in the Woodlands like recently.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was at Tris. It's a restaurant, not by the waterway. I think it's over by like Hughes Landing or whatever. It's a really nice steakhouse, and he was there, and they did like a big spread for him or whatever.
Cool. And he lives in Austin, so. Travis, whatever.
Oh yeah, well, he may have been doing a show here or seeing somebody here.
I'm saying, I think he's got his own comedy club up there now.
Yeah, he does. I would love to go to do a weekend trip to go do that. Yeah. That'd be fun.
It would be cool.
Austin's a great city.
Yeah.
If it wasn't so stupid liberal, I'd think about living there.
Yeah.
Because the weather is actually pretty nice.
There's more to do. There's nothing to do here. I'm an outdoorsy guy, and I'm just like. Yeah. Although today felt pretty nice for a while there. You didn't go outside, did you?
No, because
it was like 81, no humidity, and with the breeze.
What
this
time?
Morning, all up until like 11. It didn't spike up until like after like 11.
Really?
It was nice. I had the windows down.
Wow.
It was nice.
Well, that's good. I did notice that the weather was getting at least a little bit better. It's been so stupid hot.
Everything's dying. Like my plants, the yard. It doesn't matter. Like my water bill is higher than my electric bill. It doesn't matter. It's still dying. So you might as well just throw in the towel.
Yeah. Well.
Speaking of throwing in the towel, you know who should throw in the towel? Who just won't quit?
Nice segue.
See like that?
So if you saw our video last week, this week,
and several people did. It's doing pretty good.
I'm just saying.
If you haven't, go watch it because we need more.
Yeah, absolutely. So last week we talked about former adult film actress Mia Khalifa and her terrible take when it comes to marriage. And basically, again, we kind of walked away from saying like, hey, like, you shouldn't take love advice from an adult film actress or a former adult film actress. Right, I should say.
Adult entertainer, whatever you want. I think that's for strippers, isn't it? An entertainer.
I thought they were exotic dancer.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I've never even been to a strip club. I'm happy to say that.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Really?
Yeah. What, do you think I had?
I don't know. I was at your bachelor party. So I know you didn't do it then. So that's kind of like the one and done if you ever were to.
Well, I guess I suppose so. Yeah, I definitely didn't for my bachelor party, but I did get drunk and I did throw up. So
I was there. It froze to the porch. But enough about that. Yeah, well, this girl, she didn't quit. She should have known when to quit. But I guess former adult film stars aren't the brightest. So
yeah, they don't know when to quit. They just keep going and going. So
I thought she went to college, but I guess that was just a different video. So see what I did there?
Oh, that's funny. So someone had commented on that previous video, right? Which if you did not watch last week, go and watch last week, find the clip, listen to it, and then you can come back, right? Or don't, doesn't matter. So someone responded to that. I'm gonna say the comment because you probably won't be able to see it on the video because it's like on the.
It's like a duet, like she replied to it.
So in the first video, she talked about how when it comes to divorce, it's no big deal, right? It's just about filling out paperwork and like whatever, right?
Yeah, she was like, just make your appointment.
Yeah, just because marriage is meaningless.
It's like a doctor's appointment. Just schedule the visit. It's like
yeah, exactly. And so someone had commented on that is someone, now it's not really good English, but most people don't have good typing or English ability anymore.
The internet's not known for grammar.
No, it's not. So this person said, not about the paperwork. Not everyone has the luxury that you do because you have money. It's in all caps.
Yeah,
not only is marriage far-fetched because of expenses, divorce, wide eye emoji. So that last part, like, again, not good grammar, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So she replies to this. So I've seen part of it, not all of it, right? So we're gonna play the clip, see what she says, and then just talk about how stupid she is, because I have nothing better to do with my life.
This is where we are.
Yes, this is what we've come to.
Excuse me? Baby girl, divorce is expensive for everybody, especially if you're the one who has to pay the alimony to the broke-ass bum. What you are saying with this statement is that you, personally, would sacrifice your independence and your freedom and your peace of mind and your happiness for a little financial stability? At what price? At what cost? To me, that seems way more expensive than, I don't know, a couple $1,000s to break up. What? Like, y'all really got to stop conditioning yourselves to feel like you can't take care of yourself. You are not at the whims of these men. You can leave and start your own life. You should leave and start your own life if you're not happy with everything. Everything should meet your standards. Otherwise, get the fuck out.
So I think there's a lot there.
Yes and no, but she's like, it's more of the same. You know what I mean?
It is more of the same, but again, it's she's doubling down, right, on what she was saying, and I think when I was watching this clip, what I thought that was interesting is, because the libertarian, I guess, idea of this hyper individualism has been I think a mainstay of our culture, right, for a long time, which is kind of like the whole, like, a lot, live and let live, right? Let people do what they want, whatever, as long as it's not bothering you, whatever, right? It's just about finding out, or about creating the greatest sense of freedom, right, for yourself individually, right, and doing what makes you happy, all kind of stuff, right? Obviously, you shouldn't, you shouldn't stay in a miserable situation, right? And right. I mean, it goes without saying, but you have to say it, right? Obviously, if you're in a marriage where the person is a very abusive, emotionally, spiritually, physically, yeah, obviously that is not good. You need to get out, right? Okay, so that aside, right, because those are the obvious, right? Duh. To tell someone if you're not happy with every single thing, if not every single thing is perfect all the time that you need to leave, is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And it tells you why she's been married 4 or 5 times, right before she's 35, because that is not reality with anybody. I don't care who you are. That's not possible for everything to be perfect and how you want it all the time.
Right.
Right. It's not possible.
It's just not a realistic way of looking at life. Like, nothing's going to be like that. Not marriage, not your job. Even if you have a dream job, it's not like every day is going to be perfect or everything is going to go your way. You don't think you're going to have good or bad days with your kids, win some battles, lose others? Like, just with marriage, we've talked about it last time too, and we've talked about it 1,000 times on the show. Marriage is a commitment, but it takes work every single day.
100%.
Like, marriage is work. Like, I don't know. Some days it's great, and others it's like you would, like, if somebody put the divorce papers right there and there was like ready to go. There's times like in the heat of the moment you're like, oh, I could do it, but you have those ups and downs. But I don't know. Too many people, especially people who like look at an influencer like this, and they're just like, yeah, you know what? She's right. I should get out. Like, they make it seem like it's, I don't know, just a walk in the park, or that it's something easy to do, and it shouldn't be. It should be one of the hardest things to do. And like you said, if it's abusive, or if it's a bad, toxic relationship, then sure. But people can change. You can work through things, counseling, everything else. But the other thing I want to touch on, she's like, it's a few $1,000s. Okay, what for like lawyer fees and the documentation? Maybe. What did you sign a prenup before you went? So like nope, like nobody splits anything. Like it's just you're paying for the fees and the lawyers to
Yeah,
go
the
through
legal
it.
fees and stuff.
It's
Yeah.
like that's normal people. Like you're splitting house custody. Like who gets this? Who gets that? It's 401ks.
Right.
It's rough.
Right. And again, it just goes to the delusion of what, you know.
And I think that's what the original person was commenting. It was like, and she came back and her rebuttal was like, it's just a few $1,000s.
Right. And that, thank you.
I got you.
And I think that was what was the kind of, like you said, an
Baby
appalling
girl with her nails.
Yeah, with
They're driving me
her
nuts.
like LaQuisha nails. That's the other thing too, is that just the flippant nature of how she, again, just kind of like the last video, but again, it's like for the average person, right? And but again, this is a common theme for influencer or celebrity-ish type people, is they fail to recognize the ramifications of the life of the everyday person, where the average person, like you said, there's two incomes, right? There's a house, there's car payments, there's children, and like all those things have to get litigated and split up and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times, right, it's not an easy process. It's messy. It's dragged out. People start going after each other, right? And one funny thing she said, because she talked about her having to pay alimony.
I caught that.
And so because
I'm sorry, you're the one with money. Like
yeah. Well, what's funny about that is there was this lawyer that was being interviewed. I was like watching this video, and he was like, women like to fancy themselves as feminists, right? But he said
until they have to pay up.
He said anytime I've had to deal with something where deal with a couple, right, and they're getting divorced, right, and she happens to make more than him, and when they're all about equality, right? They all want to be treated the same, but as soon as they're asked to pay up, that's when, oh, no, gender roles. No, gender roles. Well, roles.
It's like that that soccer star that's going through a divorce.
Which soccer star?
Don't quote me the name, but it's not like Messi or anything. It's
I don't know his name, but I know the story.
Yeah, but basically he's going through a divorce. The woman wanted to leave him, and then she actually ended up having to pay him money because technically he made less than her because she was going after everything. But everything is
in his mom's name or whatever.
In his mom's name, like willed to her. Or like not willed to her, but like in his mom's name.
Yeah.
So his mom's the one with all the money.
Yeah, so he's technically like
poor.
Yeah. Right, yes, I did see that.
So like she's like, what the heck? And she's all mad and she's all, for one, that's a bad look. That just means you look like you were gold digging.
Yeah.
But the fact she had to pay him and she took him to court, it's just like what you were saying.
Funny, yeah. And it's funny because this
so like, what did you want?
Like,
did you just want out? Because you're getting out. Boom.
Yeah. It's
just a couple $1,000s, right?
Yeah. Hey, equality, baby. It's 2023.
Exactly.
Right. It's feminism, baby. This
Gender
is
is fluid.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
I'm gonna show up to divorce court like as a woman too. It is, ma'am.
It is, ma'am. It is, ma'am.
Actually, I think I should have custody. I identify as their true mother. Who knows? The world can get wacky going forward. So.
Yeah, it can.
But also her dad's going to get rights. So.
Yeah. So it's, So again, I wanted to talk about it just because again, it just happened. It's still going on, doubling down about it. And, again, it just shows again where we are when it comes to the way we view these things. And again, the more that the institution of marriage has been, attacked and tried to be destroyed, and the rest of the society has gone that direction. It's just the way it is. You know. So,
I mean, you lose those the values and traditions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's left? But
then also you ruin kids' lives, I mean, and that's the saddest part when it comes down to this. Like again, like you were saying, she's an influential person, whether we like it or not, and people will hear what she's saying, and they take it seriously.
Well, some probably would.
Well, yeah, I think it's enough because it's probably more than one, right? And some of those people probably have children, and if they're willing to go through with what she's talking about, those kids' lives are going to be ruined. Because the reality, divorce is always it destroys the world the world that the child knows just blows up, right? And they're never the same again, right? I mean, I remember.
I mean, sure, you get 2 Christmases, but it's just not worth it.
It on the long term, on the long range, it totally just it puts the kids in a bad spot. Whether it's young men, young women, right? Any statistic shows time and time again the ramifications that happen when there is a divorce or a single mother household, right? The likelihoods of, again, whether it's crime or other things for men or for girls, just obviously like promiscuity, things like that, all those things tend to go up in those situations. It's just the reality, right?
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, advice like this or this kind of attitude is going to destroy families and ultimately destroy children, right? And which is just despicable and not okay, and so. The message is the same as last week, right? Like, don't take love advice from an adult film star.
Don't.
Right? Because
take it from us.
Well, again, I am not, I have a lot to learn still in my life, but I would venture to say that I can give better advice about marriage.
Oh, for sure. Hell yeah.
Mia Khalifa.
I think so. And I don't pretend to know everything. I just know I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Right.
And you would hope that in finding that partner that they are as well. But that's what courting is. That's what finding your soulmate or your partner is all about. Dating's dating, but don't take it to the next step just because you feel like you're expected to, or that's what everybody's doing, because then you think that divorce is an easy way out. Oh, if it doesn't work out, I've known several people who have already been divorced, and it's just like, you just get married for the right reasons, because in my book, once you are, divorce should be the last thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've done a couple good podcasts on marriage too. So if you want to go check that out, but yeah. But the point is, don't take advice from this chick.
Yeah. It is very basic, right? Like, you shouldn't. I don't know if there's anything she could give good advice on. Well, nothing.
I wasn't gonna say.
Well, nothing that's worth your time.
No. You
won't be a better person for it.
No.
So don't listen to her.
Yeah, but what you do need to listen to is Oliver Anthony, apparently, because see what else he's got.
Yeah, you should, because he has a good message, and Mia Khalifa.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check out more of his stuff because I don't listen to the one.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as that, that's pretty short and sweet. I wanted to talk about one other thing, but maybe we'll save it for next week.
Content, baby.
Yeah, it just depends. It's about. What was it about? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I do. It was about lab-grown meat.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Yes. Until next time.
Later.
Peace.